Welcome to today's program, Genealogy. Genealogy and Introduction to FamilySearch.org, presented to you today by the West Hempstead Public Library. Your presenter is Jean King. Here you go, Jean. Take it away.
Okay, let's try this again, everyone. Sorry for all the technical problems. Everyone can hear me and see a handout that says Introduction to FamilySearch.org.
All good.
Yes, thumbs
All
up?
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So I'll go through the introduction a little quicker since we're running behind. Okay, so the website FamilySearch.org is operated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and it's located in Salt Lake City, Utah. To give you a brief timeline of the website, the Genealogical Society of Utah was founded back in 1894 and is one of the older genealogy societies in the United States. Starting in 1938, the Genealogy Society started microfilming records from archives throughout the United States and storing these microfilm rolls in Salt Lake City. After World War II, they actually began microfilming projects internationally. We fast forward to 1970, which was the opening of Family History Centers, which are branches of the Family History Library located in Salt Lake City, and which belongs to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And at these Family History Centers, patrons can go to get free access to information from databases, which are on the computers at the center, or by using rolls of microfilm. And back when this started in 1970, people could order microfilm reels from Salt Lake City to be sent to their local Family History Center. In 1999, the website FamilySearch.org went live. And in 2007, the first digital images of Family History Center microfilm were published on the website. In 2010, the website added record searching with over 1 billion names and millions of images. And in 2014, people started seeing record hints when they submitted family trees to the website. A big change came in 2017 when the church decided to stop distributing microfilm to the Family History Centers because they were starting a project to digitize all of the rolls of microfilm they had in Salt Lake City and put them online on FamilySearch.org. So they're at the Family History Center, for example, in Plainview, they still have microfilm there that they had borrowed from Salt Lake City but didn't need to return. So even though this distribution stopped in 2017, if local Family History Centers had microfilm on long loans, like Plainview did, they were allowed to keep them. And then finally, last year in September, the digitizing project was completed of 2.4 million rolls of microfilm that are kept in Salt Lake City in a place called the Granite Vault. And these records have been put online on FamilySearch.org. They cover over 200 countries and principalities, and more than 100 languages are represented in the microfilm. And we're going to take a look at that when we go onto the website. Most of this digitized microfilm is not searchable by name. It's only searchable by location. So let's move on. Here are a few statistics from last year about the FamilySearch.org website. There were over 14.3 billion searchable records on the website. And last year they had over 200 million visitors. Some of the, in 2020, the platform added 19 new languages, including Albanian, Czech, Dutch, Finnish, Norwegian, Polish, Swedish, and Vietnamese, bringing the total to 30 languages that you you can switch their platform into 30 different languages. So two of the first things I wanted to talk about were the Family Search Family Tree and Family Search genealogies. And these are two different things. At the end of 2021, there were almost 1.4 billion people in the Family Search Family Tree. Now, the Family Search Family Tree is collaborative, which means that anyone can go in and add people, and anyone can go in and make changes to people that are in the Family Search Family Tree. So some people might like this idea and other people might not, because you don't have control over your family that's put in the tree, because other people could go in and make changes to it. It's not like putting a tree on Ancestry where you can control any editing. On the Family Search Family Tree, it's collaborative. People add source citations to document their work. And in 2020, over 378 million source citations were added to people in the Family Search Family Tree. And this is how you can see whether the information for a person is valid, because the source citations will show you where the information came from. There is another part of the website that's called Family Search Genealogies, but these are older family tree submissions that could have been made decades ago. And you can't make changes to these trees, and they're kind of left over from when the website was first started. If you do find information in one of these trees, you really need to verify it, because you don't know the quality or where the information came from in these trees. And this is completely different and separate from the collaborative Family Search Family Tree that I was just talking about. Now, what people really go to the website for are the records. And there are two types of records on the website. The first one, the Family Search historical records, you can search by name. And as of the end of last year, there was over 123 million indexed records and over 850 million new images uploaded, for a total of the 14.3 billion searchable names and images on the website. There are over 3,000 databases on the website that are searchable by name. Some of the countries that had records added, had extensive records added last year, included Scandinavian countries, the Netherlands, Spain, the Caribbean, the Pacific Islands, Mexico, and Peru. And just as an example, there are over 60 index collections just for New York. When you look at these historical records, not all of them are going to be viewable at home, because there are existing contracts with the owning institutions that are made with Family Search. And some of them, you may need to go to a local family history center to look at the images because of these contracts that have come about. Now, in addition to these historical records, we have historical images. And these are the microfilm I was talking about that Family Search just finished digitizing. And there are over 4.8 billion images right now in the historical images section, but none of these are indexed by name. And in fact, the number changes every minute because new images are being uploaded from all over the world. When you look at these historical images, you're going to need to search by location, not by name. And then to help you, you can also add a date range or a life event to narrow down the the specific type of record you're looking for. And we'll, take a look at that on the website. There's also research tools on the website that are really helpful. They have a family search wiki, which is like having your own personal genealogy reference book. They have over 100,000 articles at the end of last year, and it's a really great place to go to when you're beginning research on any country or topic. They have pages for different countries, for major cities, and it's constantly being updated because this is a collaborative document also. And just in New York State, they have 16 subcategories. Also in the wiki, you'll see a feature called guided research, and this only pertains to birth, marriage, and death records that are on the Family Search website. But if you need help getting a start looking for birth, marriage, or death records, they have this set up for the United States and 20 other countries. Just, if you're not sure how to proceed, this is also a great feature to use. The website also has a digital library, and they have over 500,000 books, and many of them are in the public domain, so you could download them to your own computer. However, there are also copyrighted books where you only would see a little snippet of information, but because hopefully a lot of you use the library, if you see a book in there that you are interested in, you may be able to use interlibrary loan to get a copy of the book sent to you. So the digital library includes the books from the Family History Center Library in Salt Lake City, but they also come from these other libraries like the Allen County Public Library, Arizona State, Birmingham Public Library, BYU Family History Library, Houston, Dallas, Historical Society of Pennsylvania, the Midwest Genealogy Center, Onondaga County Public Library in Syracuse, St. Louis, Florida, and Columbus. So it's a really great resource to have this pretty much free library that represents all of these different libraries across the country. The website also has a library catalog that represents the holdings of the Family History Center Library in Salt Lake City. However, I read recently that they're not really updating the catalog really in the last 6 months because they're concentrating on those historical images, uploading those historical images and not adding them as part of the library catalog at this point. And with the library catalog, you want to search by location. You're not going to be searching by name in the library catalog. So that's also a search by location and then by record type. And just to throw it out to you, they have indexing projects through the website. These are indexing projects that go on constantly. You can spend as little or as much time working on a project as you like, but anything you index means you're helping other researchers be able to find their family on FamilySearch.org. They do have an app, a Family Search app, if you're into that, for on Google Play or the App Store for Apple. Family Search also has a Facebook page and an Instagram account. On their Facebook page, you can find videos that they've recorded on different topics. Now, this part of the handout is what I had, Cindy emailed to you, so you didn't have to write all this down. But Family Search, provides a lot of free research help that you might want to take advantage of. They offer free consultations with their genealogists Ah, sorry. They, they started this because of COVID and they decided to continue it. You can book a free 20-minute private consultation through this link on their website, but they ask that you limit it to one consultation per week. In addition to asking them about genealogy research help, you could also book a 20-minute session to help you with DNA questions. Then there's the Family Search Community Message Board. You could post a question to anybody on this message board in general, or you could post a question to a specific group such as New York or Germany, Italy. You know, when you go to the message board, you can see the different subgroups and you could ask people out there for help. And finally, the Family Search Library has a free lookup service where you could ask them to email you a specific page from a book or a specific microfilm image. But you have to be, again, very specific about what you want. They don't do research for you. And they ask that you limit these requests to 10 per week. So if you think your family might be mentioned in a book, you could ask them for the index to that book, or if you find the page to the book, they will definitely copy it and email it to you. And after the class, if you'd like to keep up on FamilySearch.org, there's a couple of ways to do that. FamilySearch.org has its own blog that has weekly updates about what's been added to the collections. There's also a monthly webinar calendar that has free classes that you can sign up for on how to use Family Search, or also on different research topics. They have lots of tutorials in their help center. Also, the Brigham Young University Family History Library does many webinars on how to use Family Search on their website. You could also check out the Family Search YouTube channel for different webinars, and also just on YouTube in general, you can find tutorials on how to use Family Search from other genealogy professionals. And so take advantage of that. I also wanted to show you a little bit about our 2 local family history centers. They recently, I'd say maybe just a month or 2 ago, they opened up. So you can go to the family history centers to use their computers, to use the databases that they have to get help on what to do next on your own research. The one in Plainview is on Washington Avenue, and these are the hours that they have right now. I was told that the phone is not working right now. So the best way to double check their hours is if you go to this link on the Family Search website. But these hours should be pretty standard for them. These are the hours they had before COVID. So I think they have volunteers in place to cover these times. Now, I know this is a bit far out for a lot of us, but there is also a family history center in Port Jefferson Station. And in January, they were mostly open Monday afternoons, Tuesday nights, and Wednesday mornings. And you could either call them, or you can, probably the easiest thing is to shoot them an email to check with them on what their hours are going to be for February. And after we take a look at the website, I was going to show you a little bit about this free conference coming up. It's going to be from March 3rd through 5th. It's virtual, it's free. I looked at the one last year, which was also virtual, and it was amazing. There's going to be, I think they're saying, over 1,500 free lectures that you'll be able to watch through their website, Roots Tech. Last year, they had over 1 million people attend virtually from over 240 countries. And if you click the link that's on the handout, you'll be able to sign up for the one coming up in March, as well as go back and look at all of these lectures that they did last year. They're going to keep the lectures up, I believe, until the end of February. So you want to take advantage of that while it's still up before the next conference takes place. So I am going to now try and share my screen. You can see it? Excellent. People can see it? Yay. Okay, so here's the Family Search website. Yay. Now what you're going to need to do is set up a free account. You're going to need to set up that free account so you'll be able to see all the records while you're searching. But I know we're kind of pressed for time, but let's take a look. So over here, we'll start on the left, right? This is the Family Search family tree that I was talking about. That's the collaborative tree where they're trying to create a family tree for all of mankind. But just to show you what an entry might look like on a family tree. Okay, this is my father. Okay, and this has his details that I had put in. These are some sources I had from census records for him. Down here, you can see his parents that I added and his sister. If they have this nice timeline for people, which makes it, I think, pretty easy to read. Incorporating the deaths of his parents, and also that I had found an obituary for him. And over here, you can see a little more extensive tree that I had started to put together. Truthfully, I haven't put a lot on Family Search. I tend to have more things on my Ancestry tree, but just so you have an idea of, and once you have a tree put up, you'll get record hints from Family Search from time to time. They started this thing called a discovery page, which I don't think is overly helpful, but it'll show you world events that took place during the lifetime of your ancestor. And it actually shows what my maiden name, the origin of my maiden name. So, but let's move on. Okay, if we go to the search button, this is where you're going to search for the records. Here's the catalog, the books, the wiki. These are the genealogies I mentioned earlier that are the older trees that you can't edit or collaborate on, but they give you an idea of where some of these came from. Some of them were computer generated. Some of these were from one name studies, other websites, and they're telling you unknown data accuracy from some of these really older ones. I mean, it's worth looking around, but again, you'd have to be kind of cautious about adding information from those trees into your own, just so you know it's there. Okay, so these are the historical records. These are the ones where these are indexed so you can search by name. But I just wanted to show you, if you start typing over in the browse section, it'll automatically start bringing up names of collections for New York as I was typing New York. And this is one way you could look on a location to see what they have. Oops, but sorry, not that. The other way is to go to the map. So if we go to the map, we can go over to New York. Come on. Oh, great. Now my cursor doesn't work. Okay. So here is a much more, I think, helpful way to look. Here you can see they have learning courses for New York. It'll take you right to that Family Search Wiki. We go down here, and these are the indexed collections, database sets that they have for New York. What's nice is you can see the last time they were updated. So if you only wanted to see the most recent updates, you could just click like that. Or, you can search by record size. You can even search by record size and see that, which you can see down here, the ones that have millions of records. Now, if we go down a little further, these are unindexed historical records. And actually, New York doesn't have a whole lot of those. And then if you go further down, this is the library catalog, and they're showing you different types of categories in the library catalog that you might want to investigate for New York State. And it's quite an extensive listing. Okay. Then we can also go up to the top here and search by name just in these New York records. If you click the box, it'll make it exact only. And then over here, it'll show you how many results that it found. And then over to the right is where you could actually see the information. Well, not this one. This one's on fold 3, but you can see the information on the right. They redid this maybe not even a year ago. I kind of liked it the other way, but so if you look at a record here, which is pretty cool, this is my grandparents' marriage record. And if you click on the document, okay, then you can make it bigger. And there's my grandparents and my grandfather's brother, who is one of the witnesses. And you always want to just check the next page, because there is actually a second page to the marriage license. So you want to make sure you always take a look and see if there's a second page to what you're looking for. So, okay, and then if up here, if you had a family tree on Family Search, it gives you the opportunity to link to that tree. And in fact, it tells me that it's already been linked to my grandfather. And if you go down to the bottom, this is all the source citation information about where that record came from. So, now, if we hit images, this is the historical images as opposed to the historical records. So this is the microfilm that was in Salt Lake City that was digitized by Family Search that is not indexed. So I was playing around with this a little bit. So I'm going to try to show you an example here. We put in Nassau County. No, it doesn't look good. Nassau, New York. Okay. So then when you go to show more search options. Let me see if I can get this to come up. It's a little weird. When you put in the dates, you have to click this other box. And then I think I did marriages. So what happens is, right, we get 9 results back for Nassau County, New York, for the date range I picked. And these are actual marriage. You can actually see the marriage records. But there's no name index, so unfortunately you would need to know what date you were looking for, but they are actually here. So if you have the date, you could potentially find your marriage record by scrolling through. You're basically scrolling through a roll of microfilm, but it's digitized and you can do it anytime you want in your house when you weren't able to do this before. So that's very, yeah, that's what their goal was, is they wanted to put these type, even though they're not indexed, they wanted to give people a chance to look at them. You know, look at them by, like they call it life event, and by a date range. Okay, and you can see how the number's changing all the time. That's how fast they're uploading these images. But again, you have to make sure that you search by place and then hit that more search options, and then you can limit it to a date and a life event. And then I'm not sure why this is that helpful, but if you click here, it shows you what they've just been uploading, in case you're interested in that. Okay, I want to keep going though. Let me flip over to show you the digitized books. Okay, so this is the search box for digitized books. Again, you're going to really want to search by a location. So if you were interested in Staten Island, here are some books that you might run across. And this actually is taking you to a website, not just books. This is something new that they've added. These are Staten Island records that are on a website. But again, you can limit it by subject, and you can even, you know, by language, and you can click and just say you want the ones that are public, if you know, if that's what you're interested in. But so you do have filters for that. We have the library catalog. And again, you're going to want to search by location. In this one, I believe we have to say United States and then New York. Yeah. Oh, come on. There we go. And then you can see it's broken down for New York City, all these different subcategories that you could look at and see what kind of information they have for New York City. And then, you know, and then it goes down into the declarations, naturalization records. So it acts like a, you know, a card catalog that you're used to. And then the Family Search Wiki is just wonderful. Come on, Family Search Wiki. Why are you not working? I don't see it. Oh, where is it? Ah, there we go. Okay, so this is the Research Wiki, which is so helpful. You can click on any country you're interested in to learn more about it. And you can also just do it by state. So if we go to the New York page, It's got all kinds of information for you on how to do research in New York. You can search by all these different record types. You could click on any county on the map. Or down here, they give you additional resources that you might find helpful, other websites. They have New York canals. And if you click here, New York online records, it will take you to this page that shows you by type of record, not only the information that's on Family Search, but it shows you what's on Ancestry, what's on Find My Past. So you would know where to go for the specific record type you're looking for. And they have My Heritage. So it's really involved, and it just goes on forever. It seems like on all the different categories that you might need help with when you're looking for New York State information. And it's so great to have it like just in one spot, so you're not hunting around the internet looking for things where really, you can find pretty much what you want just on this Family Search page. And then the guided research that I had mentioned for New York, it would show you where to find birth, marriage, and give you a start on looking for birth, marriage, and death records. Okay, and then I had just mentioned the indexing. If you were ever interested in an indexing project, you would click that tab. And over here in the question mark is where the help center is, where you can search by topic on help that you might be interested in. They also have the community. And this is the Family Search community where you could post a question on, help using Family Search or the research help. And people read these all the time, and, you would get some feedback from other people. So you could either ask a general question over here, and there's also the free research consultation. And this is where you could book one of those 20-minute sessions on either research help or the DNA help. And they walk you through how to do that also. So I know I kind of whizzed through this because of my time constraints here, but I wanted to take you to the Roots Tech conference page so you can see that real quick. You just would sign up with your email or phone number. Here's the dates again, March 3 through 5th, over 1,500 sessions with the virtual exhibit hall. It's going to be really great. And then if you go up here to sessions, these are the sessions from last year that are still open to you. You can take a look at these. A lot of them are between 20 minutes and 30 minutes, but these are some of the different categories that the sessions were in. They even have a little guide me thing. Where do I start? Information about DNA, about the church, advanced skills. But definitely play around with this before it disappears. Like I said, I think that they're leaving it up until the end of February because that's when it took place last year. So I am going to conclude. Yes, I don't know how to stop my screen sharing. I can't find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. So.
Top right hand corner is
Gallery.
gallery view,
Yeah.
so you can see everything,
Yeah.
and you can take some questions.
Okay, so I know that was a kind of a whirlwind tour of FamilySearch.org, but I hope that you can see that this is a great free resource that's really pretty easy to navigate, especially with all with the wiki and the guided help that they give you. And because that microfilm is always being added every day under the historical images section, you're always going to find something different. So it's, you need to check back often to see what's going up on the website and how it could help you.
Any questions?
Jean,
Yeah.
is there any place in Family Search that has a place for us to store what we have found, so we do not have to go back and forth to retrieve information?
No, I don't think so.
No,
I
not
think-
even in the wiki where it says it's my personal reference book?
I don't know.
Okay,
I think they used to have something and I think they got rid of it.
okay, so not to, okay, I'll research, navigate
Well,
through the site.
because what it is really is the way to store things on there is by putting up people in the family tree.
Okay,
When you add someone to that collaborative tree,
yes,
and when you find a document relating to that person, then you link it to them.
okay,
So that's how you can keep track of the information you found, but it's by person.
okay.
Like you don't really have one place where you could store a lot of documents. What you're doing is attaching them to the person.
Okay, so all the information that I find, like in the military and the other marriage certificate, I just bring it to that person on the family tree and it stays there.
Right, it'll
Okay.
give you that option to attach it to a person.
Sure.
I mean, certainly you can print anything you see also,
Okay,
but right, there's not really, you're saving it to the person.
okay. So that was a good suggestion because I didn't know where to start. I was keeping information on my father's father, my father's mother, and my mother's mother, but I'm on information overload.
Yeah, and if you start looking at those unindexed images, you're gonna go crazy. Because
Okay.
there's so much stuff in there.
There is, and I can't believe how they put this on, in all the documents, they put it digitalized it all
Yeah,
for us. There's so much information there.
I think it took them close to 10 years to get that microfilm
that info.
digitized.
What a tool to have, because you hear stories about your family, but you don't know some of the particulars.
Well, and it's free. I mean, it's free.
And isn't that
And
great?
even it's always good to have another source because the quality of the imaging of records varies from website to website. So you may
Okay.
find something on Ancestry, but you're having a hard time reading it. So you might want to look on Family Search for it to compare the quality, or the indexing also is different on Ancestry and Family Search. So you may not find someone coming up on one site, but then if you try it on another one, because the indexing might be a little better. Yeah, you always want to kind of compare when you're having trouble.
I found navigating through the sites could be overwhelming also, but you showing us the different tabs and what's located in the tabs, I think that's a good place to start.
And
Become
they keep
familiar.
they keep changing the way it looks. So I was like, why did you change this? It was fine.
Yeah, it was
before.
working. It wasn't broken.
It wasn't broken. Yeah, because I find it a little distracting when you have the results on the left and then they pop up on the right. And you're trying to kind of, I don't know, it seems a little distracting the way they reconfigured it.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Thank you.
But okay, sure.
Any other questions?
About the DNA, you mentioned that, Jean. I thought that was fascinating. For those people who have done DNA samples, that sort of thing, is that something helpful if you have your DNA characteristics that you can go into the DNA site and
That is, DNA is a bit overwhelming, I find.
yeah, but that
I've
is a
listened-
very specific characteristic other than your last name, which can
Yeah,
be your DNA characteristics, for a better word. It would be interesting if you got a number, a DNA strand number that you can enter in, and then it does matches saying, well, you're highly probably matched to this person.
I uploaded my DNA on a couple of different sites. And I have found some relatives that way, but not a lot because it all depends on who's tested. So you have no idea.
So when it says DNA on this particular website, what does it mean? Is it tied to ancestry.com?
Oh, no, Family Search doesn't get involved in DNA at all.
So what was that DNA?
Oh, you can ask them a question about your DNA results. You could set up a 20-minute free consultation with them. So if I mean, it's worth a shot. If you have a specific question, you could try them for free instead of paying somebody.
Right, that's true.
But no, Family Search has no DNA testing and none of that. I mean, Ancestry does it, MyHeritage does it, but not Family Search does it.
And it's not linked to those websites.
No, no.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Jean, in the future, do you think you will do another genealogy presentation on something that you found was very helpful, but we're not going into the websites deep enough to learn about
Oh, I
it?
see. Well, in March, I've got a program set up on US passenger lists because
Okay.
the library is going to have an exhibit here on immigration. So we're going to have an
Oh.
exhibit downstairs for, I believe
Ooh.
it's 3 weeks in March.
Okay.
And so I thought, since we had the exhibit coming, I would do a presentation on passenger lists.
Love it.
A little bit of background on them and then where to go to look for them online.
Yeah, I have the passenger ships for two of my grandparents, but probably you would know how to read this, the information from the list. And, to add to, like, I know grandma came over in steerage, but how did grandpa come? He
Mm.
came over first, what ship? So I think looking at the manifests of the ships would help.
It depends on the year too,
Oh, it
because
does.
the older
I-
ones, the
yeah,
older
they didn't-
passenger lists are not helpful.
Oh, they're not at all, because I
No.
think they were the first wave to come in through Ellis
Yeah,
Island.
it's
Yeah,
really, you have to go deeper into the 1900s to get some
and that's what I
detailed
found
information.
so time consuming. And then you could just do it for so long.
Right.
But it sounds like that would be very interesting.
Yeah, so that I had set up
I
for
like that.
March
Okay.
23rd. And then I'm hoping in April to do one on census records. But we haven't picked the
That's
date
good
yet.
too. Okay.
So
April is-
that's what I'm
Okay.
doing.
Because I did go into one of the records to find out where in Brooklyn they lived.
Mm.
And how, I don't know if it was on the manifest sheet, when they came over, they had to declare what job they were going to do. Grandma said a housewife and grandpa said shoemaker.
Ah,
Okay, so the census gives you another level of information, particularly.
definitely.
Yeah, so that would be good, but I don't know how to dig deep enough into them. to extract everything I need.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
never ending task.
It is, but I'm looking forward to doing this.
Great. So we all set?
No, just people here.
Oh, mute. I'm sorry.